Good to be with you once again, brothers and sisters. All praises to the Most High. I'm your host, the Apostle Reuben of IUPR Bible Radio, podcasting out of Little Rock, Arkansas, to the true saints of the Most High God. Well, brothers and sisters, we're going to go into John chapter 14, 1 through 3, real quick. It's not going to be long. So let's begin. John chapter 14, verse 1. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would not have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. Now, that's the thing. These Christian pastors and their interpretation on verses in this book will wow you, brothers and sisters. It will wow you. But he gets it. He gets it because he idolizes Edom. Edom gave him what to say. See, many of these pastors are on a computer. How do I interpret this? Enter. And they give them away. And that's the way they do it. The Holy Spirit is not behind that. Now, let's look at this. We're going to show you something, brothers and sisters. Christ says, in my Father's house. What's the Father's house? Let's get Michael. Michael 4, verse 1. It says, but in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it. Now, we're talking about the house of the Lord on the top of the mountains. Remember, he says, in my Father's house are many mansions. Let's look at the Father's house. Micah 4:1 again. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountain, and it shall be exalted above the hills. What does this mean? How could exalted above the hills? See, mountains and hills are nations. We're going to go over it. Mountains and hills are nothing but large nations, small nations. We're going to go over it with you real soon. Mountains and hills, just something quick. And people shall flow unto it. Now, who are the people that are going to flow unto the house of the Lord? That's going to be established at the top of the mountains and above the hills. Who are going to be the people that are going to flow unto it? Let's get the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah 31. See, it's like a tag team, brothers and sisters. The prophets explain the prophets. You don't have to guess. Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 10. Hear the word of the Lord, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say, he that scattereth Israel will gather him, and keep him, as a shepherd doth his flock. For the Lord hath redeemed Jacob, and ransomed him from the hand of him that was stronger than he. Pay attention now. Therefore they shall come and sing in the height of Zion, and shall flow together to the goodness of the Lord, for wheat, and for wine, and for oil, and for young, and for the young of the flock, and of the herd, and their soul shall be as a watered garden, and they shall not sorrow any more at all. There is no more sorrow, meaning kingdom. The only ones that is going to flow together to the goodness of the Lord, which is his house, is Israel. That's it. So let me look at this. Back to Micah. Back to Micah chapter 4, verse 1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains above the nations, and it shall be exalted above the hills, the smaller nations, and people shall flow into it. The Israelites, the people that are going to flow into it, you just read, Israel. But watch this. And many nations shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Now, Christians look at this many nations and say, see, it says many nations. But here's what we're going to do. The book of Romans. They like to use that, but they forget what it says in Romans. Paul explains that many nations. Romans 4:16. Therefore it is of faith, that it might be by grace, to the end the promise might be sure to all the seed. The seed, all the seed, not that only which is of the law. Now, this is talking about sacrifice, but that also which is of the faith of Abraham, who is the father of us all. All who? All Israel. It's not talking about all nations. You're going to see, as it is written, I have made thee a father of many nations, before him whom he believed. As it is written, I have made thee a father of many nations, before him whom he believed, even God, who quickeneth the dead, and calleth those things which be not as though they were. See, it didn't exist, but God called it, and it didn't exist. Who against hope believed in hope, that he might become the father of many nations, according to that which was spoken, so shall thy seed be. The many nations were one seed, not seeds. The many nations were not seeds. It was one. The many nation was one seed. One. One. It didn't say so shall thy seeds be. It says, so shall thy seed be. Let's look at this. Now, God tells them. Genesis, so shall thy seed be. Let's look at this. The book of Genesis, because the Christians go right here. Let me see. Do I want to do the one in Genesis 2? Verse 17, we're just going to read it. That in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. And thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. Thy seed, watch. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. Now, do you guys see this? Do you see this? But see, here again is where the Christians stop. They stop right there. And what I want you to understand, brothers and sisters, is when we go 4 chapters over, and drop down to Genesis 26:2. Brothers and sisters, I hope you're paying attention. We're going to do this again and again and again, as many times as you like. And the Lord appeared unto him, the him is Isaac, and said, go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell of thee. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and I will bless thee, for unto thee and unto thy seed. Stop. Now God makes the promise unto, I want you guys to pay attention. Now God is talking to Isaac. It's gone from Abraham. God is now making the promise to Isaac and his seed. Isaac and his seed. Brothers and sisters, give me just 1 second. I need to take a short break. Just a short break. I had to adjust something real quick. It was going to be kind of noisy. But this is what I want you to notice. God tells Isaac, sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee. I'll be with you, and I will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. Now look at this. And I will make thy seed. It's no longer Abraham's seed he is blessing. Now he's blessing Isaac's seed. He's blessing Isaac's seed. Now, see, the Christians don't want you to see this. The blessing has moved from Abraham to Isaac. See, God has moved the blessing from Abraham to Isaac. Abraham to Isaac. Abraham to Isaac. Now he says this to Isaac. I will multiply thy seed. And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries. Now it's Isaac's seed, and in thy seed, in your seed, shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. So now it's in Isaac's seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Now it's in his seed. It's moved from Abraham. He said the same thing to Abraham. And that, right, let's look at it. Look at it. Look at it. You're going to see, we want you to see this very carefully. Very carefully. Genesis 22:18. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. But this was already foretold, though. This was already foretold. In Genesis 17:21, but my covenant I will establish with Isaac, not Ishmael. So he's out. Ishmael is out. Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this time, at this set time in the next year. So it says, but my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. So he's telling Abraham, I'm going to establish my covenant with Isaac. And he's doing it right here in the book of Genesis 26. He's doing it right here in Genesis 26, verse 3 and 4. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and I will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. And I will make thy seed. Now it's Isaac's seed. Isaac's seed. Isaac. And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries. Didn't say seeds, seed. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Now it's in Isaac's seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. No longer in Abraham's, Isaac. But it moves again. It moves. Now I'm going to show you the importance of this. I'm going to show you the importance of this. I want to pick it up right here. Now Jacob is having a dream. We'll start in verse 12. Jacob is having a dream. Jacob now. So let's pick it up. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending. So he's dreaming. So verse 13 says, and behold, the Lord stood above it and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham thy father, and the God of Isaac. The land whereon thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed. That pushes out Esau. The promise is going to Jacob now. To thy seed. Who was Jacob's seed? Wait. Look at this. Watch this. He's going to say the same thing. And thy seed, Jacob's. Thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. So he told Abraham, in your seed the families of the earth shall be blessed. He told Isaac, in your seed the families of the earth shall be blessed. And Jacob's seed, the families of the earth shall be blessed. It moved down, brothers and sisters, which pushes out Ishmael, and it also pushes out Esau. It went down through the seed. See, they try to end it at Abraham. So Abraham was the father of many nations. No. Abraham was the father of many nations, but the covenant went to Isaac and to his seed, and to Jacob and to his seed. And his seed, Jacob, is Israel. One seed. One. This is what Paul was talking about. One. That many nations would come from one seed. One. This, the line. The Christians can't do anything about this. When he tells Jacob, and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed, now that seed moves to Israel. All the other nations are gone, buddy. Nothing to do with it. This is what we're telling you. That seed, the promise of that seed, that's why the Bible says in Psalms 105. That's why the Bible says in Psalms 105. Y'all got to understand, no one else is in this. No one else. These Christians are fighting for nothing. Look at this. He hath remembered his covenant forever, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, which covenant he made with Abraham, and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law. This thing went down from Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and look at this, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. I be dog. Look at that. That's why God said this in the book of Exodus, man. You Christians, they hate. See, when you hate it, it's a bitter pill, brothers and sisters. That's why he says in the book of Exodus chapter 6, verse 7, wherefore say unto the children of Israel, I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians, and I will rid you out of their bondage, and I will redeem you with a stretched out arm and with great judgments. And I will take you to me for a people, and I will be to you a God. He chose Israel here. I will be to you a God, not to the nations. He's going to destroy the Egyptians. But didn't God create the Egyptians? Yeah, but he's going to destroy them. I will take you to me for a people, and I will be to you a God, and you shall know that I am the Lord your God, which bringeth you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians. And I will bring you in unto the land, this seed, concerning that which I did swear to give it to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. And I will give you for an heritage. I am the Lord. The covenant was passed down. No other nation is in this. That's why when you go back, and I'm going to show you, we're going to further prove it, but Micah, you go to Micah 4. It already tells you in verse 1. That's why it says, but in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord, his house, shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall come, and it shall be exalted, above the hills, and people shall flow unto it. And many nations shall come. Those many nations is one seed. Watch. And say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob. He's titled the God of Jacob, his God. And he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law, this is the kingdom now, the law shall go forth out of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Now, I want you guys to pay attention. And he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Kingdom. When his house is established on earth, there's no more war. But watch, look at the next verse. But they are shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make him afraid. What does it mean? But they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree. Nations are going to go back to where they belong. There's not going to be any more mixture, melting pot. Every nation is going to be with themselves. Edom going to Edom, what's left of him, the little bit left, because a lot of them is going to perish until the time when it says, and we got to go over Obadiah, because there's going to come a time when Edom is going to be gone for good, but not at first. He's got to be punished for 1,000 years. Letting you know that everybody's not coming into the land. That's why it says, but they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree. That's under his own nation. None shall make them afraid. No more war, for the mouth of the Lord of hosts has spoken it. So when we take a look at this house, that's talking about the kingdom. And you're going to see, watch. John 14. Go back to John 14. In my Father's house, we read about the house and who's going to be there, are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. Now, what is the place he's going to go prepare for us? That's real quick. Let's get the book of Matthew. The book of Matthew 25. What's the place he's going to go prepare? Matthew 25, verse 34. Just reading this verse. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. That is what's being prepared. The kingdom. The kingdom is the Father's house. The kingdom is the Father's house. That is what was prepared. Now the question is, brothers and sisters, again, is who was it prepared for? Who? Who? Let's go back to the book of Psalms 103. Look at this. It says, but the mercy of the Lord is from everlasting to everlasting upon them that fear him, and his righteousness unto the children's children. Whose children's children? Whose children? Whose? Let's get the book of Ezekiel 37. Ezekiel 37. Whose children's children? I'm just showing you. I'm showing you who the children's children is. You got to have it by verse. If you don't have it by verse, they'll tell you anything. Book of Ezekiel 37:23. Now, I'll start right here. It says, neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols. Now, this is talking about Israel in verse 22. When it says, I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall no more be two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more, northern and southern kingdom. Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, their sins, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions, but I will save them out of all their dwelling places wherein they have sinned, and I will cleanse them. So shall they be my people, and I will be their God. And David, my servant, shall be king over them, and they all shall have one shepherd. They shall also walk in my judgments and observe my statutes and do them. So this is, but I want you to look at this. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob my servant. Wherein your fathers have dwelt, and they shall dwell therein, even they and their children and their children's children forever. And my servant David shall be their prince forever. See, the children's children was from Israel. That's why it says forever. That's the children's children that is going to get into the kingdom. The book of Zechariah. Chapter 8, just real quick. Zechariah chapter 8, verse 2. It says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, I was jealous for Zion with great jealousy, and was jealous for her with great fury. Thus saith the Lord, I am returned to Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth, and the mountain of the Lord of hosts, the holy mountain. Look now. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, there shall yet old men and old women dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, and every man with his staff in his hand for very age, because people are going to start getting older, living longer. When Esau is put off the map, people are going to get older. It says the same thing in the book of Isaiah 65. I think verse 20 along the line when it says, an aged man shall die at 100 years. Even every baby shall live to 100 years or more. When Christ comes back to the earth, all of the drugs, all of the poison food is gone. We live a long time now. But look at this. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, there shall yet old men and old women dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, and every man with his staff in his hand for very age. And the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing. And the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing in the streets thereof. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, if it be marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of this people, Israel, in these days, this people is Israel. This people is Israel. This people is Israel. That's whose little boys and little girls are going to be playing in the streets when the Lord brings his house. His house isn't going to be for all nations. That's why when you go back, thus saith the Lord of hosts, if it be marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of this people in these days, it should also be marvelous in mine eyes, saith the Lord of hosts. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country, from the east country and from the west country, my people, from the east country and the west country, my people, from the east country and the west country, my people. Let's go back. Matthew 8:11. And I say unto you that many shall come from the east and west. Who was coming from the east and west? His people. And shall sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven, the house of the Lord. Who's coming from the east and the west? His people. Not all, man, come on. That's why it says, when it says, but the children of the kingdom was the Pharisee, the rulers. They're the ones that's going to be cast out into outer darkness and pain and suffering. Those that were coming from the east and the west is talking about right here, back in Zechariah. Lying Christians. All they do, if you believe them, you just believe them, but they can't prove that. Why go to a verse and you can't prove? Look at this. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country, and I will bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and they shall be my people, and I will be their God in truth and in righteousness. The only kids that's going to be playing in the kingdom is Israel's. That's why it says, when you go back, Psalms 103. Psalms 103. But the mercy of the Lord is from everlasting to everlasting upon them that fear him, and his righteousness unto children's children, Israel's children's children. That's who's going to be, that's whose the mercy is to. Watch. To such as keep his covenant, and to those that remember his commandments to do them. Look at the stipulation. Look at the stipulation. See, this is why these Christians are liars. See, when you see his righteousness unto the children's children, that's Israel's children, to such as keep his covenant, and to those that remember his commandments to do them, from the children's children. If the children's children remember to keep the commandments, the covenant, and do them, the Lord has prepared his throne in the heavens, and his kingdom ruleth over all. There your verse, brothers and sisters. That is who the kingdom was prepared. That is who the place was prepared for. Israel. When he says, I go to prepare a place for you, it was Israel he was preparing the place for. The Lord hath prepared. See, the prepared his throne. His throne is the kingdom, the house that's coming in the heavens. That's how you know. When it says the Lord has prepared his throne in the heavens, that lets you know that it's being built in the heavens. And his kingdom ruleth over all nations. The throne is prepared for the children's children. The children, that's who that throne is prepared for. He's going to prepare the kingdom. Matthew 25:34, which is another name for it, is the house of the Lord, which is coming when the second coming of Christ comes. The Lord prepared his throne for the children's children. The kingdom. He didn't prepare it for all nations. He did not prepare it. So when we go back to John 14, verse 2, in my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. If it were not so, I would have told you it wasn't. I go to prepare a place for you. That place is the kingdom. Matthew 25:34. Matthew 25:34. Now, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you. The you is Israel unto myself, that where I am, there ye may also be. Where I am, ye may also be. Where I am, you may also be. Come on, let's go right back to it. Let's get the book. Where I am, you shall also be. Jeremiah 33. Where I am, you shall also be. Look at this, Jeremiah 33, verse 14. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will perform that good thing which I have promised unto the house of Israel and to the house of Judah. Come on now. In those days and at that time, I will cause the branch of righteousness to grow up unto David. That branch with a capital B is Christ. That branch is Christ. And he shall execute judgment and righteousness in the land. Now, when he executes judgment and righteousness in the land, who's going to be with him? In those days shall Judah be saved and Jerusalem dwell safely. The only ones that's going to be with him is the tribes. Come on, man. Man, come on. In those days Judah shall be saved, and Jerusalem shall dwell safely. And this is the name wherewith she shall be called, the Lord our righteousness. She is Israel. Yes. But see, 10 chapters over, I'm going to show you again the book of Jeremiah 23:5. It says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch. There it is. The branch is again. And a king shall reign and prosper, and he shall execute judgment and justice in the earth, the whole planet. In his days, Judah shall be saved, and Israel, both kingdoms, shall dwell safely. See that? In his days, that he's executing justice and judgment, in his days, Christ, Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is the name wherewith he shall be called, the Lord our righteousness. When Christ returns, who's going to be with him? Israel, not all nations, bro. This is prophecy of Christ being on the earth as a ruler. And who's with him? Israel. Boy. But these Christians, man, they act like But that's why, brothers and sisters, Sunday after Sunday, these pastors are concerned with getting that money and ending church and doing it next week. It's tradition. They'll never study like we are. Never. It won't happen. And it's all because of him. And you see, our people are ignorant because they get offended. But all we see is this for you. That's it. There's no way you cannot serve man. Because that's what that is. You're serving man when you link up with his theology of the text. When Christ, the Bible prophesied Christ ruling and who was with him. That's what it prophesied. So, look back to John, and then we're going to end it. John 14, verse 3, and if I go and prepare a place for you, the you was the children's children. Psalms 103:17. To those that keep the law. It was the children's children that keep the law. The children's children. See, again, Psalms. We're going to do these two, and then we're done. Psalms 103 once again. Verse 17. But the mercy of the Lord is from everlasting to everlasting upon them that fear him, and his righteousness unto the children's children, to such as keep his covenant, and to those that remember his commandments to do them, the Lord has prepared his throne. That throne is the kingdom Christ was talking about in Matthew 25:34. That's what's being prepared. The kingdom. The Lord hath prepared his kingdom in the heavens, and his kingdom ruleth over all. Preparation is now going on right now. And when his people wake up, we're going to see the good of the land. See, the children's children that keep the law, the throne is prepared for them. Not all nations, man. So what are they talking about? They make me angry when they go to John 14 and try to call themselves breaking it down. No, they're not. It takes, you got to know the truth about it. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again, the second time, and receive you unto myself. I'm going to receive you to me, that where I am, there ye may also be. And he's going to be in the land of Jerusalem as a judge of the earth, and Israel's going to be with him alone, reaping the benefits. See what happens, brothers and sisters, when you use chapter and verse to break down chapter and verse? It makes sense. And with that, brothers and sisters, that's today's lesson. All praises to the Most High. One love, peace, and hope to every last one of you. We're in our fight. We are in our fight. So let us fight together. All praises.